I mean, this is part of the new area. This is part of trying to think about some of the environmental issues and get a grasp on the science. So this is not stuff I'm necessarily sure of in the way that I feel sure of some of the things in the books. So I think that for a long time, people in the West thought of mind and matter as two separate things, since Descartes at least. And we might go further back than that. But certainly with Descartes, we get mentality as something that is immaterial, and matter is something that is non-mental, and the twain don't meet very well. And Descartes had a hard time explaining how they ever possibly could in a human life. I think that a lot of people focus then on explaining what mentality was, but it might be better to try to rethink matter. And I think a lot of philosophers are doing that right now, trying to rethink matter. And they're doing it partly because they're taking some cues from physics. 20th century physics just blows apart our conceptions of matter from the Enlightenment and the scientific revolution. I think a lot of people in the humanities and a lot of people on the street we've inherited that view of matter from the scientific revolution. We still think of it that way. And that's just not what physicists are up to anymore. That's not even what biologists are up to anymore. So if we think about matter differently, how would we think about it? Well, it's not inert. It's not that it requires mentality to move it, which was a basic idea in the early modern philosophy, that matter was immobile. It was absolutely unable to do anything itself. But matter does seem to be self-organizing, and I don't know why. What I read suggests to me that I need to understand a lot more about electricity and magnetism, because molecules seem to form because of polarizations and so on. So if I understood that better, I might be able to give a better account. But so there seems to be something that's dynamic. Also, some of the ways we understand causality, stemming from scientific revolution and enlightenment, that period of time, the point at which Aristotelian categories of causality dropped out definitively from scientific thought. They remained, or at least parts of them remained, in play into the 17th century. Leibniz, for example, one of the two inventors of calculus, said that he still held on to final causes as well as material causes, and Aristotle had 4 causes, and Leibniz held 2 or 3 of them. But they drop out, and the only cause that's left is what we now think of as cause. That's a cause. But electricity doesn't behave in the way that it should if that causality holds. It does all kinds of things that are really weird. I've seen pictures of lightning. Have you seen any of these pictures of lightning? If you haven't, you should Google it, because they've got photography now of lightning. We think of lightning as coming from a cloud and hitting the ground. But it now seems to be the case that the ground begins to reach up. The polarities shift in the earth and attract the lightning from the cloud. So if you could it happens very fast, of course, but if you could see it, you would know where the lightning was going to strike. So causality is not linear in the way that we've been taught to think and that we just assume. It's also not temporal in the way that we've been taught to think, at least not on a quantum level. Temporality doesn't work the way there is now, and then there is the second after now, and the second after now. I don't understand this very well because this is high-level physics, and it requires mathematics, I think, to really understand what's going on, and I just don't have that. But so it seems that if we pay attention to the science at that level, at a quantum level, linearity and linear temporality fall out